say no. Tell me what you're trying to say no. Tell me what you're trying to say no. Tell me what you're trying to say no. Hey, you guys, welcome in. I know y'all like, ooh, what was that? I don't got my music right now. It's okay. But that is called Bounce Jazz. I don't know if you guys heard it. I got turned on to it like a month ago. And it's very nice, especially during the spring and summertime. You got a lot of bounce jazz, a lot of feel good music. Y'all know me, I said it in previous lives. I was so happy for the spring and the summer because one thing and two things for sure. Baby sitting on that balcony with some Sade, Anita Baker, and some bounce jazz clears the mood. Trust me. With your glass of wine, the sun is out, sit there, cross your legs. You got your little, I don't care if it's in your backyard. Have your wine, sit out and chill, have your little snack. It's the mood. So let's get into it, you guys. So we are talking about Rada Darling interview with Carlos King. She talks about Michael Blackson. Shout out to Carlos King, and I appreciate you for, understanding to let me do this. I will be pausing in and out this alive. We do talk about a lot of things, but I'm trying to get my shorts together, you know, on Netta and Charles and Krishan and all them to keep us through the week. But yeah, that's what we're talking about today. Also, if you guys, like I said before, you want me to do, if you saw my short about the MJ and talk about more about him, we will tomorrow. I'm okay with that. Let me know. But Rod, okay, so let me get a background about Rada Darling. Rada Darling is the baby mother, I don't know, ex-girlfriend, new girlfriend, I don't know. We'll find out in this interview of a MAGA Blackson. Yeah, you heard what I said. MAGA Blackson, okay? And if you know on Love and Hip Hop Miami, they were together forever. But before Love and Hip Hop Miami, they was also on the show with Miss AJ, who was from House Party. And they had a couples retreat show, and she was there and she was saying how he wants an open relationship. Then we got to Love and Hip Hop Miami, where Rada Darling says that Michael wants an open relationship. She was fine with it, but the issue that she had was he had a baby on the way. Michael didn't just have a baby for Rada on the way, he had a baby from another woman on the way, and there was a third woman as well that had a baby by him, and that's in Africa. Now, from what I understand, Rada was saying she didn't want him dealing with the woman, even the women, even though he has these side babies, she didn't want them to because they knew the situation. But at this point, you invited these women to the bedroom, and this why people said that they didn't agree. Even AJ said, "Girl, I wouldn't do it if I were you." Understandable, but if you not game on through it, I wouldn't do it. Okay, so child, she was upset. She didn't want the girl in LA to have the baby. She didn't want the girl to be with him in LA. She didn't want none of that. So we're gonna get into this interview because she goes into depth, of the whole situation. Hey, CC Life. And what's weird to me, as I said this before when I talked about Rada Darling, was you gave this man an inch. He took a full throttle mile journey to longer miles. And now he has 3 children, to where you and 3 different women, you and 2 other women, were pregnant at the same time. Let's get into this interview.
Between the proposal and today, I don't know about. He decided to go out on his own terms, and I trusted him because he's my man. He's my fiance. You're supposed to trust your man.
This is Jen Spark. It's like having a full stack team in one workspace. Watch this. Build me a
Hey, Raindrops. On today's episode of Reality with the King, we have a real life hot topic, okay? This woman is all over the news, the blogs, and she has decided to exclusively sit down with me to tell her story for the very first time. And I'm so grateful and thankful she said yes. Give it up for the beautiful Rada.
Hey,
Hey,
Karen.
everybody. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you so much for saying yes. I'm gonna want to talk to you for a while. Our mutual friend Claudia Jordan. Hey, Claudia.
Hey, Claudia.
She and I spoke, and she was like, "Whenever you need her, let me know." And I'm like, "I actually want her like now." So
Aw.
shout out to Claudia Jordan for making this happen. But I definitely appreciate you with your busy schedule, being a mom, an entrepreneur, real estate mogul, all of these things, and starring on the new season of Love and Hip Hop Miami. You are a busy woman.
Yeah, pretty busy.
Yeah,
For the
yeah.
most part.
So I don't take this for granted. Look, you have been in the news for a lot of things happening with, I don't know, we should say current fiance, ex fiance,
A
complicated situation.
complicated
Okay.
fiance situation.
All right. So we will check the "is complicated"
Yeah.
box. Okay. Facebook fans, we will do that. But before we get into that, I want to get to know you.
Sure.
But first thing first, I just wanted to ask you, how are you doing?
As well as I can be, taking it day by day. I am just very lucky to have a lot of great friends around me, my family, and uh, with whatever the situation is, Michael's still a great father to my son, so I'm blessed to still have that.
Before you and Michael Blackson was a thing,
Mhm.
where are you from? Like, who was Rada before all of the like lights, camera, and action?
I know a lot of people wasn't sure where I came from. They're like, all of a sudden I'm there.
Yeah.
And
I want to pause. All I know is he started dating her when he came out with her. I said, "Oh, okay." At the time when I was following him and stuff, I do not entertain him anymore after what I saw. But I guess that was his way of trying. I don't know. Anywho, I saw her. I was like, "Oh, who is this?" Because I didn't know him to be dating of anybody. She really did came out of nowhere. She just popped up out of nowhere. Like I was like, "Oh, okay." And it was her. Like she was on his arm. She was on the red carpets, and people were saying, Rada. They was like Michael Blackson and his girlfriend Rada. Da da da. And I said, "Oh, okay." So I mean, that's where she came from. But what's crazy to me is how we gonna get into it, but her family didn't know because they Cambodian, and she didn't want her mother to know because her mother did the same thing she was doing, was standing by Michael. Like Michael Michael Blackson, the African actor. She the one that played in Friday too. That went in for the CD talking about something. This is James Brown, I can't get into this ish. That's him. That's her baby daddy. That one.
I did a lot of things before Michael Blackson. I was a corporate person and I was married previously for a good
Yeah,
amount of time,
she
17
was.
years. I am a relationship person. Um, didn't really get to explore life
Yes.
the way I should have, like during my college years, high school years. My family was very strict, never really dated, married like my second boyfriend at a very, very young age.
How old were you?
Gosh, I'm going to give my age away, Carlos.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
in
So
my
you were
early 20s.
That's okay. Early 20s. We received that. So you married your second boyfriend, your early 20s.
In my early 20s. We had kids a year after. And, for good reasons, I don't like to talk about my children that I've had with him, only because he is a little difficult when it comes to that.
Okay.
And, I respect his wishes. So, because our relationship currently is so public, I can't really mention my kids.
Okay.
And so, when I left my marriage, I also left a lot of other things like my corporate job. I had a little tiny cafe business, like mini restaurant business that I also left behind. And then I ventured into cannabis.
Mm.
And that's when, all the partying started happening. I started drinking,
Mm.
never drank before. I had,
How old were you? How old were you when you started drinking?
oh gosh, in my 30s.
Wow.
So you came from like a really strict upbringing. What
Yeah.
is your nationality?
Cambodian.
Cambodian. So in the Cambodian culture, like,
Mhm.
is it typical for the parents to be like really strict?
Oh,
And
yeah.
okay,
Asians, Southeast Asians, period.
Southeast Asians,
Yeah.
period. Okay.
They're just very, very strict. You can't date, you can't talk to boys, you better get straight A's. But
They are like any other, you have African parents are the same way. Certain parents from the islands are the same way. So it's just the type of parents they are. For her to not have any life experience is crazy. Like, she didn't have life experience until, like she said, in her 30s. She got married in her 20s. She never had a life experience. That is crazy. She never experienced, like, you had your first time drinking, you have your first drink, she jumped into marriage, and she was a late bloomer. She started drinking, experiment with she's just a late bloomer. So it kind of makes sense why she wanted Michael to be happy, because a lot of people was like, oh, it's the money, this and that. I thought that too, but it kind of makes sense why she wanted Michael to be happy, because she's a late bloomer. She ain't experienced that. If it's open, I ain't experienced that. Like, I want to watch, or I never known that. If that make you happy, what is that? So even if she didn't want to, she never experienced it.
I was, not good when it came to school because I had ADHD. I'm gonna admit that I do have ADHD, but I didn't get diagnosed until later.
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
diagnosed ADHD.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people who say they haven't been. So kudos for you for going to that step.
Yeah. And so I met a lot of people while I was in the cannabis industry. And that's how I met a good friend of mine, Lil John, who introduced me to Michael. And I was in the party scene all the time. I was in Vegas all the time. I was in Miami all the time. Me and my girls are just out there promoting and, just living the life. We were like always at concerts because that's what the industry's about, And I always told myself, because just being around the industry and knowing how it is and how people move, I always told myself I would never date anybody in the entertainment industry or an athlete.
I finally realized why all the big companies use Navan to manage their business travel. With Navan Company Travel.
And look what never brought me.
Yeah. So when you met Michael, he was introduced to you through Little John. Was it through Little John telling you this guy likes you, or he's a good guy, you should get to know him? How did that introduction go about?
It was pretty much I'm having a show, come and see the show with me, have some friends there, and Michael just happened to be there. And it's just like one of those things where, hey, Mike, this is Rada Mike type of thing, but it was nothing like that. And I wasn't looking for anything. I just got divorced. I mean, I've been single for 2 years, I wasn't looking for a relationship.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Were you attracted to Michael upon meeting him?
I'm not one who just looks at somebody and is like, oh, he's so hot or whatever, even if the man is drop dead gorgeous. But when I do speak to somebody, that's when the attraction begins. And with Michael, it was just so different because I really didn't know who he was. And if you know me well, all the friends that are always around me, they get it because I never recognize people. I don't know who anybody is. Like, I'm just not that type of person. But when we were talking, he was just so funny. He would make me laugh. And the things he said, it was stupid, but it was so funny to me. And I haven't had a man made me laugh like that in a long, long time. And we just clicked.
And you just clicked and you guys just started dating. Did it get hot and heavy really fast?
No, we were speaking for a good 3 or 6 months via text, you know. I think it was like the 3rd month I went to go visit him in LA, and I was just wondering like, why are people asking you for photos? I really didn't know who he was, and then I Googled him and I was like, oh, he's a comedian.
Did he not tell you like I'm a comedian, I'm famous?
He told me that he's a comedian, but I was like, I wasn't really sure like what kind of comedian he was.
Right. You're like what level? Is it Chris Rock, Kevin Hart? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it
you
was
didn't
just
know
one of
that he was
those.
somebody that kind of had a household name
Yeah.
until
Shoot, I just had somebody ask me about him now. Hell, she probably didn't know. The last thing I seen him in so far was the one with Marlon Rand's. I think he was in 50 Shades of Black, if I'm not mistaken. And he was also in the one with Mike Epps when they go to like a haunted house, and I think is it the one before Cat Williams was in it. And it's that. So that's the last thing I saw him in so far until TV. He started doing TV.
y'all started hanging out, they're asking
Uh-huh.
for photos. How soon in you guys, in the talking dating stage did things become exclusive?
Oh, it took a while. I mean, I couldn't take him seriously in the beginning for a long, long time. And when he asked to hang out a little bit more often, like at first we were doing like once a month. You know, I would fly out there myself, go see him. I would take him out to nice dinners only because he doesn't believe in eating like good food. He eats to live, not live to eat type thing, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I was
Yes,
like,
I do. I show.
don't want fried chicken every day. So I was like, let me take you out. Let me show you what good food is, you know? So I did. I took him to like Nobu. I took him to Catch. And
Would you pay?
I do. I pay.
And he would let you?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, he's African. He's
Kiana.
cheap.
Rada, you crazy girl. You're funny too.
Sometimes.
Okay, so you would take him out to like Nobu,
Yeah.
Catch, the
Mhm.
5-star restaurants,
Yeah.
flip the bill, and he would like enjoy the delicatessen.
Yeah, he does enjoy it. But he's like, okay, I'm eating it now, but I'm going to an hour later. So what's the point?
Right.
Okay,
I'm like,
let me show y'all who he is for some. Let me see if I can pull up. Let me go to IG. Okay. For people that don't know, this is Michael Blackson. This is him. That's her and Michael Blackson. I think that's an old picture, but this is him and her. That's her and that's him. This is very old. Yeah, this was a couple of years ago before the baby. This is him. He's a comedian. This is him at the White House. That's why she said that, so he's been there a lot. He's been doing his thing. He was on Love and Hip Hop Miami. This is his daughter from someone in Africa. So his son. I'm sorry. Is it? Wait, hold on. Oh no, this the one he shared with Rada. I'm sorry, he don't post his other two kids. That's the child he shared with Rada. Do we post the other ones? I don't think so. But yes, that's Michael Blackson. I don't think he posted. Well, interesting. He
just
now
savor the moment. And
just because you saw him post him and her son does not mean he don't have two other kids. He has 2 other kids. All the kids are 2 to 3 months apart, if I'm not mistaken. Either between 4 weeks to 2 months apart, allegedly, from what I saw on the show.
Your mouth. Just like you do when you do other curricular activities.
We'll get to that later. Okay. So when you're
Yes,
taking him
it's
out,
his.
do you remember how long
Yeah, that one is his, and the one that he said in Africa that he has that is in Africa is also his.
you two dated? Like, was it more than a year before y'all became exclusive?
Yeah, it was a little over a year. And I guess the point where I thought he was serious was when, he was starting to ask me questions like, oh, who are you going to dinner with? Or who are you out with? And I was like, wait a minute, why are you asking me those questions? I don't ask you those questions. We're not in a relationship. And then he's like, I don't care. I'll try. And then I think it was like in Miami when things started to get more serious because he was like, you can answer my phone.
Oh.
And I was like, okay. And it was never like spoken, but we became exclusive without any rules or anything. And that's when, I guess I was perceived as the person who was okay with it being a one-sided open
Yeah, she did.
relationship
She got out of there.
because it was unspoken during that time. And I was okay with it because I was like, well, I don't know where this is going because he has this certain lifestyle and that's not really my lifestyle, but I'm going with it because it's fun at the moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I did say that she was going with it because it was fun at the moment. She was trying to put her relationship with Michael. It was never like that. And then when she went on the couples retreat, he asked her to have an open relationship. He asked her that. She was not comfortable with that. And that's why AJ kept asking her, because she was on there with the season when he ended. If she kept asking her, "That okay? Are you sure that's okay? Are you sure that's okay?" She was like, "No, I just, And she wanted to but she had rules to the open relationship.
But things changed when he got down on not one knee, both knees
Ooh.
to ask for my hand in marriage. And that was a shock to me because I was like, oh, wow, he's really serious. And that's when I knew, okay, this is getting serious. And that's when the boundaries started to come into play.
So before he got on both bended knees, he was open about being in an open situation. You guys were dating.
Mhm.
He was honest with you about the fact that he obviously had multiple women that he was seeing at the time.
Riverside, your all-in-one podcast
Yes, he
creation
was seeing
platform.
multiple
Record
women
your
at the
podcast
time.
solo
She
or
would
with
say that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was not really spoken out loud,
Mm-hmm.
but it was, hints here and there, like, oh, this girl's going to be there. I'm like, okay, whatever, because I wasn't sure where it was going anyway. And I thought it was just for a good time because in the beginning, we both established that we didn't want a relationship. He just got out of a serious relationship. I just got out of a marriage of 17 years. So we both were okay with it. It's just having a good time. And like I said, once he got down on both knees, that's when it just totally shocked me. And I was like, oh, he's serious.
Is it true that you two had this understanding of
Mhm.
inviting women into your bedroom?
Yes. In the beginning,
I am too, because I feel like that's what he wanted for her, and it wasn't what she wanted. It really was what he wanted. But he didn't follow the boundaries and the rules.
well, even after he had proposed to me, I was okay with it here and there because
Did y'all do it before the proposal?
Mhm.
Okay. Was was being with Michael your first time experiencing girl on girl action?
Yes,
Okay, so he introduced that lifestyle to you first.
he did.
Okay.
The funny thing is, before I had divorced my ex-husband, I asked him for an open relationship.
You asked your
Oh,
ex-husband for one.
Yeah. I asked him if he wanted to introduce somebody to the bedroom, and he said no.
Another woman.
And yeah.
Okay.
And
What made you ask that?
well, I felt like our sex life was just so vanilla. And I mean, you've been with one person for 17 years, let's spice it up, you know?
Mhm.
And he said no. And after that, he cheated on me with somebody from another country. And so I was like, okay, you like shot me down, but then you went and did this. Really? While we were supposed to work on our marriage? And I honestly didn't want to let my marriage go. I was really sad that it happened.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of things that
now I remember on the show, Love and Hip Hop, she said that she, was taught never to leave a man. She was taught that. She said, my mom, and I don't know, I'm gonna see if I can find a clip. She said, so y'all can hear it. She said, my mom was with my dad, who did a lot, and she stayed with him. She did not leave him. I'm gonna see if I can find that while she's speaking.
were more than just the cheating, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when Michael introduced this lifestyle to you, at least in the back of your mind, you always thought about it.
Yeah,
So you were like, all right, let me just fulfill this fantasy.
exactly.
And you enjoyed it.
I did.
And then when you guys got engaged officially, you did mention, okay, let's set some boundaries. What did
Right.
those boundaries look like for you that you want to set now that you were this man's fiance?
Well, first of all, always protect yourself. And secondly, there can't be any attachments if you're continuously seeing one person. That's like another relationship. So I'm not down with polygamy. I'm not down with being with a man who has 2, 3 women at the same time. Even if, they're not considered his girlfriend. But if you have a relationship continuously with this one person, that's a relationship. I don't care what you want to call it.
Yeah.
And so I just wasn't down with that. And I made that pretty clear. And that's why we said, okay, well, once a month, right?
That was your rule.
That was my rule.
Okay.
Um,
And in your definition of that,
Right.
it's one different woman per month.
Yes.
Nobody can have seconds. with us.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And he was cool with that.
Did the side chick per month, was it the rule that you had to be present?
No,
Okay.
no. As long as the communication is open and we're being transparent with one another, I'm okay with it. Like if you are not hiding anything from me, then to me, you're being pretty much transparent and you're following the rules. But if there are some facts that are hidden for whatever reasons, there's a reason for it. So I'm not cool with that.
Were you allowed to have one side chick a month just for you?
He says he doesn't care if I do, but I feel like when we almost got into that situation, he cut her off like real fast as his friend.
So is it because he wasn't he
I don't know. I don't know what that situation was. It was one of his friends that I really liked, and she came around and we became very close. And I don't know what happened till this day. He just cut her off, didn't want her coming around.
did y'all three have dealings with each
No,
other?
not with each other, but her and I.
But he was cool with that.
I thought he was until he wasn't. I never got an explanation. So I haven't talked to her. She moved to another country. He just didn't want her around anymore
Good
after that.
afternoon.
And he was really at the fact that she was over one time when he was out working. Yeah,
Mm.
I don't know.
Remind y'all, her and Nadia had a conversation. That's the other baby mama named Nadia. Now, if y'all watch the show, they had a conversation. And she said that's still her man. But child, I'm trying to find a clip where she talked about her mom and how she said that her mom took a lot from her dad and she didn't want to be like her. She said it's just a Cambodian thing. You just don't say anything. You just deal with it. That's still your husband.
Never explained that.
Do you want me to explain it for you?
Sure.
I got some insight, girl. I know men and Africans. No,
But she doesn't have a D, so
no.
what's the problem?
The thing is this. And we'll get more into this, but I'll address this particular one.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is the fact that when it comes to a man, okay, men have this rule like our parents did growing up.
Okay.
Do as I say, not as I do. Right?
Right.
So in his mind, it's okay because he's a man to go out there and do his thing. But the thing with you, you know, you're his wife in his eyes, right? You're his prized possession. You're the apple to his everything.
I would like to think that.
But I know, but we'll get to that later. Listen, men are weird.
Yes.
Yeah,
we
I
are.
would say so.
Listen, I'm a gay man, but I'm a man. We are cuckoo.
Hold on, let me see.
But I always tell my girls, the thing is this. When it comes to a man who sees you as B1, in his mind, he made up a rationalized reason as to why he's able to dibble and dabble in every person or, you know, every woman that he wants to. But when it comes to you, the idea, whether it's a man or a woman, the idea of you having additional feelings for anyone, oh, he can't handle that because he has to be the main focus. So you did nothing wrong. You were a part of this bargain. You played your role. The moment he knew that this woman was over your house and he wasn't aware of it and he found out about it, it was the jealousy came from, no, this bitch is taking my spot. You like her? Like, no. So he was afraid that this woman was going to replace him.
Oh.
Because he wasn't in the middle of control.
He was already, let me just say what he trying to say. He was already doing what he wanted to do. So he felt like if you found somebody better, it don't matter who it is, that woman can take his spot. It could be a man or a woman. Michael didn't like Claudia telling him what she had found out. So he already felt like, oh, she can, you know, to him, like, oh, even if, because remember she said they have times where they invite people into the bedroom. She said it. So yeah, he feel like regardless if she like it or not, control. Exactly. He don't want nobody else to love her. Exactly.
Controlling both parties.
Yep.
Okay.
And oftentimes when a man is with his wife, wifey, fiance, or exclusive girlfriend, and he does invite another woman in the boudoir, it's a control thing for him. I'm controlling both of you guys.
Okay.
So for you to go independently outside of him to do something else, he lost control of the situation, and she had to move out the country, baby.
Yep.
Because he said, you got to go. You got to go. And that's why, listen, listen, I'm going to say this, allegedly.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gave her some money and moved her out and said,
exactly.
Go
no.
wait, is he too cheap?
He's too cheap.
Look, okay, but maybe he's too cheap. Yeah, but so that's what happened. That's what happened. I want to get into the fact that, you know, look, I'm very curious about this because I'm sure you heard this before too, that when you invite another woman into your bedroom, you're inviting the permission for the man to cheat.
And I know you boys
That
know
is
that
true.
breath is that. But
Oh,
ladies,
she look gorgeous.
protect yourself.
Hindsight is 2020.
Mhm, mhm.
As we get into what's going on currently, would you say that that's true?
You know, I would say that it can be true. But in this situation, it's a lot way far different than that. You know, if I knew that just opening up a relationship like this just gives him I guess, the permission to do more and more, because that's what it seems like, you give an inch, they take a mile type thing.
Mhm.
I I wouldn't deal with that. But you know, with me never exploring life, and this is my first time just doing something different, and I have a very open mind. I'm willing to try anything once until I don't like it, you know, and I won't do it again. But then also, you know, I believe when you select a man to
Exactly.
be with, he is who he is. You're not going to go into a relationship trying to change anybody.
Correct.
But if they want to change and evolve themselves,
Yeah.
amazing.
Now that is the truth.
I went into this relation specifically because I felt like this was such a true connection for me, because I didn't have a lot of the things that I craved in my last relationship. We never had fun. We never laughed. We never got along like we were the best of friends. And that's what I had with Michael, you know, and I was.
She used a past tense. That's what I had. So that means that everything is complicated because of the cheating. She's not saying she doesn't mind having fun, because like I just said earlier in this live, she never experienced things that others have experienced. So experiencing this with him because she never had it is different.
Willing to meet him halfway because I valued that more, that friendship side. You know, I never really had that connection. Even with the men that I've dated in between, I've never met someone with that connection. And, you know, the businessmen, they're great, but they're boring.
Yeah.
I needed some excitement in my life. I mean, I've had a boring life for however many
17
years. Yeah, serving my role as a wife, as a HR consultant, as a mother, a taxi driver, a tutor, a chef, you know.
Yeah.
So I needed some excitement after that.
Yeah, and listen, I think in your defense too, Rada, you got married young. You married your second boyfriend. Y'all were married for 17 years. You wanted to add some spice to that marriage. You even volunteered, like, do you want to bring a third party and a woman? He said no. Ended up cheating on you with another woman anyway. You're like, okay, fine. You're single. You're deciding.
Yeah, she has other kids. I think she got, from what I understand, 2 older kids, and then that's this baby. So she has 3 kids, if I'm not mistaken. Because one of the kids did get a chance to have a conversation. I think one of them is an adult. And one is an adult, if I'm not mistaken. The oldest boy is, from what my knowledge.
I need to put yourself first.
Yeah.
And as a woman of a particular age, you're just trying to figure out. And then you meet this guy, and one thing I know for sure, I know this for certain, comedians always pull the baddest women. Because I always tell men, if you can make a woman laugh, you got her.
That is so true.
Isn't it true? Like,
yeah, that's the truth.
Beautiful women get hit on all the time. What makes a man stand out to her is, can you make me laugh?
Exactly.
And so I just want you to know, I understand your journey. I understand the connection between you and Michael. I understand that the curiosity that you had in your marriage is peaking now in this situation with Michael. And
I think her thing was that's just like what that's what she like. So to her, she didn't, that's just something she like. I think and this is no, I'm say allegedly, but I feel like she does have a little bi-curious situation, going on, and she don't want to say it, but she probably is, and that's her business. If that's what it is, allegedly, because she's like, yeah, I want to invite, or she want to see how he is. It's just how she's never experienced. She like to have fun. So the fun that she was supposed to have in her 20s, she was a wife. Like she said, she was a chauffeur, she was a cook, she helped with the kids' homework. She never experienced what most women have experienced or have went through experience. They're going out drinking. She's drinking at 30. She never had that. She never got buck wild drunk. And, oh my God, how did we get here? How did we get here? How we got home, girl? Oh my God, I lost a shoe. Oh my God, girl, she never had that.
And you're exploring your sexuality. I think that's fine. You're a grown woman. You should be able to do that. I think what unfortunately went wrong is Michael decided to not continue with the agreement that was set upon, like you said, use of protection.
Yeah.
So when you found out that he did get another woman pregnant, where were you when that information came to you?
Are you overwhelmed by your payday loan debt?
Know
have you taken out multiple loans and struggling to pay them
I had heard about
if so,
that
we have some great
before it hit.
Oh my God. Like it still so recent.
Yeah, she got her groove back after that marriage.
I wish that information came to me privately from him, but unfortunately it did not happen in that fashion. I already signed the contract for Love and Hip Hop. We started filming already when that information came to me through a DM. At first I was...
Somebody DM'd you first?
Yes.
A random person?
It's a fake profile.
And what did it say?
Pretty much telling me the situation and giving me her phone number.
Now, this was the second season because they had to renew their contract, in which they all do when they come back every season. This is the second season. So remember the first season we was introduced to them. Was it their first season? I think it was their first season. Because it's their second. I think it was their first season. Yeah, she's not lying. This is her first season because she came back pregnant. Because it was after the retreat. This was their first, baby. They have so many mid-season, break seasons, on season. I don't know how to keep up, but this was their first season because this was Princess and Ray J. They were on there for a minute, and that was their last season, I believe, allegedly, because they're not back for the second season. I don't think. Like I said, I haven't watched. I'm gonna have to catch up on it. But from my recollection and understanding, that she got the DM. She knew I think her name is Nadia. She got the DM. Now I'm gonna let her tell about this DM because they were doing a contract. I think they are on this season and they have a couple of more seasons to go because Love and Hip Hop Miami has moved, transitioned to another network. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
To FaceTime if I don't believe. But I was like, this must be fake because I get fake DMs saying stupid shit all the time. And I was calm. And then, that day I just completed a scene with him. I was still pregnant. I was like 8 months. And I didn't want to call him because I knew he was filming like another scene, but I wasn't sure what that scene was. So that made me curious. And I was like, are you filming with this chick? Because I'm getting this DM right now for whatever reasons. So I waited until he came home that night after filming and I confronted him. And at first, just me asking that question and looking into his eyes, I knew it was real. I confirmed it in my heart, my soul. I felt it just by looking at him. He didn't even have to say a word. And he confessed to it. Oh, I was just so heartbroken. All I did was just bawl and cried.
So if nobody saw the show, he was filming. Not only did he bring in, when I say they were tearing him up in them comments, baby, they were tearing him up. Not only did he bring in Rada and they're having this baby and Rada's finally pregnant, he goes into another scene. He flew to LA and he shoot a scene with Nadia, who is also pregnant. And he says, I quote, "If I tell Rada, this could be over." Come to find out, as seasons go on, episodes go on, I think around the 4th or 5th episode, Nadia comes out and says he has another baby in Africa. And the girl couldn't be filmed, and he talked about it because she thought that he told Rada about everything. So it comes out that either the girl from Africa or Nadia, I'm sorry, DM'd Rada and told her. There was a scene where Nadia showed that she DM'd Rada about this baby because she was getting ready to have a baby shower and she wanted Michael to be there. Michael said he does not know because Rada could have the baby any day now.
On the floor, like my heart just sank. It was a lot of emotions all at once, and I felt so alone. I felt like everybody knew around me except me, and I got played pretty much. So there were just so many questions in my mind during that moment. I was like, why would you go to the network and not come and talk to me? Why couldn't we have handled this privately? He didn't have anything to say. But, you know, it was true. And I filmed the next day with that pain, that anger, just, you know, just so much going through my mind. I had to film a scene where had to be happy with my friends. And it was tough. It was a tough period of my life. And it's still tough now. I mean, like I said, it's very recent. I went into, well, I had to be induced into labor 2 weeks early because of all that was going on. It was
You were
just a lot.
stressed
I
out
was
of
very stressed. Didn't eat,
Yeah, she was.
didn't take in fluids well. I was just hurt beyond hurt.
Exactly.
You know, it was like the ultimate betrayal. I would never wish this upon another woman. Never. And, you know, in some of the scenes, because it was so fresh, like I reacted in a way where I shouldn't have reacted.
You can tell that she was upset because if her to say she shouldn't have reacted, no, you reacted how you supposed to react, girl. What? At first, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna tell you why I said when she said he couldn't see the baby, and now I say, Rada, you knew what it was because you invited him to the bedroom and you gave him boundaries that he did not follow. So you can't put it on the baby. He has every right to see that baby and be in that child's life. The situation is not with the child. It's with the two adults. That baby ain't asked to be here. Understood. But I will say this, because at first I was like, girl, you wanted this, but she did. She wanted, but here is the thing. She don't wish it on nobody. No. But you cannot get mad because you allowed that in your relationship. You gave him an inch, he took a mile. And I'm glad you noticed that because he really did take a mile. But to sit here and have an argument with this girl on national TV, to sit here and say he can't be in that baby life, he could be in whoever he wants to, just not with me. Because that's a lot. Not one, but two. 3 of y'all were pregnant at the same time. He's going around getting women pregnant. He's putting babies in these women. So yeah, no. You react how you're supposed to react. You react that way, and I mean, that's what it is. Any woman react that way. So you can't be like, I should have never. I say you shouldn't have reacted about the baby, about the stipulations. Because I'm gonna be like, no, you gonna take care of that baby. Whatever that baby need to come over here, that baby gonna come over here. I don't give a damn. You take, because they're not married. You take care of that baby. Where's she at? We need to talk. Me and her baby mama be on that ass every day. We will give him hell, all three. Because you're going to take care of that baby. You stressing me out to have a baby, and my baby came 2 weeks early? Oh, I'm going to give you the stress of your life. I don't give a damn. Yeah. He broke the first rule. Exactly. He didn't use protection at all. He went none of them. And one of the girls, she knew Nadia from a show. Yeah, supervised. That's what it was. Supervised cheating. She didn't check it.
And I don't want people to think that,
Yeah.
I don't want him being a father, but that was so painful at the moment. I couldn't help how I was feeling. I understand the children are very innocent. Both children are innocent, coming into this world. It's not their fault. It's not.
Yeah,
And
both children.
I want him to be there for the other child. I really do. But my whole concern is, how are we going to handle that without you having that relationship with the mother? I'm okay with you like having a co-parenting situation type relationship, but for it to go beyond that, because it was beyond that when you had this baby on me. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
just hard for me to trust and see how he would navigate through that, especially knowing who this woman is, because she's been around us, Carlos. She's been around us plenty of times. She's been to our gatherings. She's been to
Yep.
our parties. He
Yeah.
hired her to twerk on his pod.
Now, from my understanding, I don't know why she didn't bring up the other one, the last one, unless that probably wasn't his in Africa, allegedly. But I said that because on the show, remember on the show, he said it was 2. So I'm not sure, but we're just going to keep it to the 2 that we know about.
Podcasts and serve drinks to the
Right.
guests, so she's been around. She knew our dynamics. She knew how our relationship was. She knows when I'm hurt, like when,
Honey, it's given she was a friend of mine. I'm going to just say it. It's given she was a friend of mine and she had a baby with my man. That's what it gives. Kelly Price cue the music. If she knew the dynamics of their relationship, she knew, and you confided in her, she was becoming a friend. Now, when we want to talk about friends, we got to talk about it. In her mind, I came to you about my man when I had issues. You knew what it was. You knew that we were adding you. You knew we were going to add people. You knew we wanted a poly relationship. You knew what it wasn't poly, but he could do it. You knew that. You knew the dynamic. And then you decided to sneak around, not just you, and not just him, but both of y'all behind my back. And this is why people want Janisha not to be pissed off. Janisha got every motherfucking right. I don't be blaming her either.
he does these things with other women, and she knows that it shouldn't be any type of relationship between him and her. She knows all that. And her narrative is, oh, I only met you once. I don't know you.
Oh,
But we talked plenty of times.
oh.
So my whole thing is, look, I would never get upset at a woman for a situation like this. It's always the man's fault. If he's lying to her, if he's lying to me,
Wait a minute, Nadia say she don't know her? What? I never met. Girl, y'all done had, now listen, I wasn't there, but it's shocking to me that you saying that she don't know you and y'all had a conversation. What?
That's none of our faults. But in this situation, she has to take the blame too because she knew
Mm-hmm.
what was going on.
Was she a
And
friend of yours?
she wasn't my friend.
Okay.
I felt her energy from
Girl,
the jump.
I be saying
I wasn't trying to be friends with her.
He
But
brought her around.
his best
Why,
friend,
hold on. Why, yeah, 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 why, yeah, 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 why, yeah, yeah, yeah. She was my best friend.
best friend brought her around and
She
introduced
was
them
my best
way in the beginning
friend.
for when he had those
Check with me
Tuesdays and stuff
Is
like
she a
that.
dancer?
Yes, I
Okay.
believe so. And I believe there's more to it, but I don't want to say too much only because I'm not going to expose her like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
They'll respect each other. At least
did you confront her?
have some respect from each
We did it in one of the scenes. It didn't go very well.
other.
Her mouth just kept on running.
Then what
And
did
I'm
you
like,
do?
you know what? You owe me an apology. But she feels that I owe her an apology. I'm like, the audacity.
I mean,
Girl.
I'm sorry, that was me gagging.
Oh, believe me, I had the same
I mean,
the same feeling.
I mean, you're the fiance. Why does she feel like you owe her an
No
apology?
idea.
Okay.
No idea. And yeah, so that's what it was. And it's just a lot.
It's a lot. Michael Blackson did an Instagram post. Obviously you saw that because you responded to it, where I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he intimated that, look, we had an open relationship and it is what it is pretty much.
Damn, honey.
What were your thoughts when you saw what he posted to let the world know what was going on?
Paul, sidebar, my favorite part of the song. Now we don't support Kelly, but the way him and Mr. Ron Isley fed off each other on the conversation. Just because you see me with her doesn't mean I'm creeping with her. That's my favorite part of the song. They whole interaction.
I was just like, okay, first of all,
What the hell?
it was almost Halloween. I was supposed to be having a good time at a friend's Halloween party. I was in Vegas. And with my son, of course, it was like a family Halloween party with my good friend Amber and her husband Wanya Morris. They have a little girl, so his little girl was having like a little Halloween bash, and I was staying in their guest suite. All of a sudden, my phone was just blowing up early in the morning, like 7, 8 in the morning, and I'm like, "What's going on?" I'm getting these texts. They're like, "Are you okay? What's going on?" And I'm like, "What the hell is happening?" So I open up social media and I see the post. I'm like, "What the fuck is this?"
Uh-oh.
Excuse my French. But I was like, I was confused because I'm just reading this. I'm like, is this an apology? Are you unveiling your son? Or are you unveiling the fact that you had a friend of 5 years? Which one is it?
They were friends for 5 years?
That's what he said on the post.
Oh my God, today. You telling me that this man was friends with this woman for 5 years? This a friend of mine for sure. This is the friend of mine for sure. This is the friend of mine sequel song for sure. Because you're telling me that he was friends with her for 5 years and he made a fucking post about it? Oh, my Lord.
Exactly. And so I was like, again.
And you never around each other. They was, basically.
Why would you put something out like this? And why was that even necessary? You know, like I had no idea you guys were whatever, friends or doing whatever.
You
for
wasn't
life.
on
Like
First
this
48.
was all new to me.
I'm sorry.
And
Sorry. Excuse me.
you know, I knew
I apologize. You ain't make yourself to First 48 LA. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, hell no. Excuse me? Uh-uh.
like they were messing around before, and he would always tell me, "Oh, it's just pussy here and there. It's nothing."
So basically, he's been sleeping with Nadia for 5 years as just an open thing. For 5 years?
You know, so
Okay.
I was thinking it was nothing.
Mm.
And
What?
when he
Girl?
posted that, I was like, what are you trying to say? You know, this is not an apology for
Cameron would have
that.
caught
I feel like I have to say something.
Let me tell you something. We would have had a world-breaking season messing with me.
Because I'm not going to accept that. And it really like infuriated me because I'm thinking, I don't know what the goal of this post is. And furthermore, like you're having my son, the other baby, and I felt like timing is everything. Like,
Right.
why would you
He
just,
broke all of them.
I don't know. I felt like he just threw it in my face
Hmm.
almost. So that's why I responded the way I did.
Play a little bit
Maybe it was
of
an emotional reaction. I don't know how normal people are supposed to respond to that, but that's how I responded.
Mhm.
And, you know, I apologize if it came out the way it shouldn't have came out, but that's how I was feeling during the time.
And the age difference between your son and the baby that they had,
Mhm.
they're is it 2 months apart?
I would say it's
Yeah.
1.5 months.
They're 1.5 months apart.
I said it. I said that 4 weeks to 6 weeks apart. I said apart. Girl. Call him to the flow. Cause he tripping. That's why she say it's complicated. I don't blame you, girl. Ain't no way. What the hell you doing with the? I can't. I can't. I can't. They are a month and a half apart. So they were pregnant at the same damn time. They are the same damn age. So you don't think both boys are not going to have this conversation when they get of age about how their daddy was a rolling damn stone and had open relationships? This conversation with these young men are going to be mind-blowing to them. Now that they just not have to navigate two different moms. Now they need to, as we lay, now they need to navigate the relationship that they have a month and a half apart. And then when as they get older to understand why it came that way. A month and a half? A month and a half? He got older twins, yeah, before her. He does. So he got 4 kids. Possibility of 5. Because nobody talking about the other woman allegedly that he said on the show that might be pregnant. It might be a third one. That he had to go all the way to Africa to see if that third one was his, which is also a month and 2 or 3 weeks of half apart. All boys. And you did it. Girl, don't spin that block, baby. Rada, baby, let him co-parent, move on about your life. No, you tried it.
Yeah,
So he got 2 women pregnant at the same time.
pretty much. Pretty much.
I'm sorry. That's
Yeah, me too. It's unfortunate, but it happened. I'm trying my best to move past it. And a lot of people seem to think and criticize me for allowing for him to have this open type relationship. And then me sitting here crying about what has happened. They're like, well, I mean, things like that happen when you have an open relationship. If he's somebody else, he might have a baby. But I'm thinking, well, I didn't give him permission to stick his in there raw.
Don't matter, girl.
I never agreed to that.
Don't
I never agreed to him going out.
Let me tell you something. Yeah, she did before she could do it again. Let me tell you something. Don't matter if you did or didn't. And I'm finna tell you the wholehearted truth. He has no self-control. And I think that's something that that people were telling you when we just saw y'all on the show for the couples retreat. He had no self-control. He really doesn't. He has no self-control. Maybe she do need a woman. I'm not being funny. To be honest, maybe she does. Maybe that's what could be good for her. And for her to move on. And for her, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that's because, child, you say, do she got a scar? No, girl, that ain't no scar. I see it now. That's a tattoo. I don't know what the tattoo mean, but it looked like a tattoo. Yeah, that's a tattoo or some lips or something. Rada, what the hell you doing with a tattoo lip on your titty? What's girl? What's tea? It look like a scar. It's a tattoo, girl. We know you. The girls it'll probably be under there, but we see the tattoo. I'm like, oh, okay, girl. All right.
Out of the scope of what our boundaries were. I never knew all of this. After the proposal, like I thought we had an understanding, but everything that's happening today and in between the proposal and today, I don't know about.
Right.
He decided to go out on his own terms, and I trusted him because he's my man. He's my fiance. You're supposed to trust your man.
Yeah,
I'm not going to question this
right,
girl.
but I ain't gonna tell you though, Rada. He has no self-control, baby.
Man,
That's just
I'm not his mother.
yeah.
If you're going to give
Yeah,
me
that's what I thought he
details
was
of
too.
what's
Unless she
going
got
on, or
a,
you decide to be transparent with me,
unless she got her, her breast done and she just covered a scar with a tattoo. Cause that's what it looked like to me. Cause she do got her breast done. We're not gonna lie. They've been done.
fine, then I'll have that conversation. But I'm not going to go sit there and be like, oh, where were you at tonight? Or who were you with? What were you doing? What kind of relationship is that? I want to have fun in my relationship. I want to enjoy each other's company. I'm not about to sit there.
And that's why I said it's gonna forever be in her mind what he's doing, because look at what he did. She's gonna forever think about what is he doing. And she don't want to live like that. She's basically saying that she don't want to live like that. She don't want to live with the thought of, you know what I'm saying, maybe he stepped out, maybe he doing something. I'm gonna try to trust. I don't know if I could keep trusting, because what if he is stepping out with somebody? What if he is sleeping with somebody? Like, that's in the back of her mind.
Fight with a grown man, and he shouldn't be doing that with me either. We're supposed to be enjoying each other, So a lot of people do criticize me and judge me, but at the same time, like, had I known what I known, like, it wouldn't have went down like this. I was in the dark.
Yeah.
No, and the thing is, a lot of women are, and look, I'm glad you're addressing the criticism, because listen, everyone is saying everything you just said, right? And we're seeing a lot of this happen lately with public announcements of breakups and divorces and all this other stuff.
No, they're
or
not.
Couples.
They're not engaged or married. She say it's complicated right now, because of the fact is that he has done so much from the time of the engagement until now that she really don't know if she can come back from right now. And she said that, it's a lot that has happened, so it's complicated.
We're open about, we invite women in our bedroom and we have them, enjoy us, and that's that. There is this sort of call to action when it comes to women now feeling like, okay, if I'm a woman who I may identify myself as bisexual, or if I'm a woman who don't mind, dibbling dabbling with women from time to time, and my man is cool with it.
You know what? I was thinking, I remember I put that under a clip of Love and Hip Hop Miami. He does move like that. And you know what? Let's be clear. I feel like the money that he has and that he's funny and been in movies as a comedian, I'm not finna lie. I feel like that is what it is. I feel like that's what it is. He's never had this much attention like this before. Because he used to say he's a black ugly nigga. That's what he used to say, didn't he? So now that he got it, he goes after the women that are bad, good looking, and get them. And he never had it. He never had it.
How can you be in a relationship where you're both able to explore your fantasy sexually, but the lines don't get crossed? And I think what's happening to Rada is, I think women are able to separate it.
Yeah.
But I think the moment women open up that door to their husbands.
Do you trust your girl?
And some men are like that. You can tell.
I know the researcher on Spokio.
Certain men, you can tell what man has had, they don't been outside. They don't been, with other women. They don't been this, they don't been that. It ain't none of that, they're really that big deal. And then you have some men, you could tell that never, ever had that type of, they never had that type. Like they never had the girls that like them. I feel like guys like that, they only go to women when they get older. They get that money that they wanted because they feel like they'll get the girls that sat there and did one thing. And you want me to tell you what that is? Rejected them. So they get with them. Because to them, you rejected me. That's my get back. Regardless how long it's been, that's their get back. And it really is. And I feel like that's what that is. I have the money. So whatever I feel like to do, that's just what I want to do. And that's what I see. And that's what it gives to me. And that's just being honest.
I do understand how people can now say, I'm now opening up his sexual desires to do this even when I'm not present. Because men will make excuses for it. Yeah. This is how I feel. And this is me and you talking. I feel like men in their minds feel like, I mean, shit, she know what I'm about. We do it together. But if she finds out, my excuse is going to be, hey, whatever, I'm going to buy her back. I feel like men come up with excuses. And that's why a lot of times men do it independently of the deal that was made between both parties. Because look, at the end of the day, married couples, engaged couples, couples in general, do what you want to do in your relationship. Right. But I do think for some reason, well, not for some reason, girl, I'm a man, so I get it. I do think women need to understand, though, that you are playing the role of dice when it comes to the man. Because 9 times out of 10, he feels like you're giving him permission to sleep with other women. And that's not fair to you girls, but that's how they think.
You know what? I was naive. Yes. I'm going to take that and admit to that.
Yeah. He got past.
Now I kind of understand the male psychology. I've learned a lot with this man.
Yeah. And you're not alone.
I'm still learning.
Listen, between us girls, you're one of 40 women I know that dealt with this.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to live in Atlanta, so I'm used to my girls dealing with this. So I don't want you to think you're alone in this. And that's the reason why I can say to you, like, and you're not naive. I wouldn't even say you're naive. I understand that when it comes to women who are much smarter than men, women have the capabilities to say, got it. Like, this is it.
Right.
And we're good.
Right.
Like, okay. Men, no. No,
I get it now.
no. I
Carlos, did you move back to LA? Did you leave Atlanta and move to LA? Let me know. If you back in LA, kudos to you.
I have never, and I've spoken to a lot of straight men,
I love
a
that
lot,
man.
over 100.
Be honest now.
And every straight man told me this, and I'm gonna say this to you, and I'm gonna say this to all the women out there. And when I say this, this is a harsh reality that I've been told by all men that
Yeah.
I know who are heterosexual. They do say to me, the moment my girl agrees to inviting another woman to the bedroom, she's inviting me to cheat.
Yep.
Because, and this is the part that I'm going to say, and it may sound hurtful to women.
Yeah.
Men have told me that if I have respect for her, I would never even do this.
I've seen that too.
You've seen that too, so you know I'm not
Yes.
lying. They
No.
said a man would never allow another woman to come in their bedroom if he had respect for his wife or his fiance or his.
I heard that too. That is true. That is true. I heard that too. I heard there's a list of things I heard. Like I told you, I grew up around male cousins. I've heard you will be shocked to things I have heard. Even when it comes to advances of doing things actual. Yes. Yes, you will be surprised. Because to them, you're telling them they can cheat. They have the right to sleep with somebody. So if you don't, they have the right, like if they can't sleep with you, they're going to sleep with that person. That's just what it is. They're going to sleep with that person. Yep. They don't want it. Yes. They don't listen. And I'm going to tell you something else. I'm going to be honest with y'all, ladies. And I know it's some young girls in here in the bushes. If he asks that, when he can't lay with you, he's going to try and lay with that other woman. You're giving him the right to cheat. Period.
Girlfriend. And that is something that men isn't going to say to you.
Right.
And I may have just broken the bro code. But I do think when it comes to women, you ladies should know what you're signing up for, because I look at you, Rada, and I come here with no judgment. I've come here as a grown-ass man in his 40s who is an openly gay man who understands that everybody has their own ideologies of what their relationship looks like. And I think that's okay. And it's fine. What I don't think is fair to you women is the men not being honest.
Right.
And I always tell men, I strongly believe if you're honest to your woman, like, this is what I need, you'd be surprised what she'll accept.
And that is so true. That is so true. I'm able to accept a lot. You know, like I said, I have an open mind. Just be honest with me, be transparent, be direct.
Really?
That's all I've asked for. And give me the opportunity to make the decision. Don't make the decision for me by lying, you know? And so I just felt like a lot of this was not based on my agreement to whatever it was. It just was an unknown thing that I guess I agreed to because I didn't know, you know? So I just feel like it's
Right.
easier when you have a relationship where you can both be honest with one another. Let's just be honest. Let's just be direct. And if this isn't working and if this isn't what you really want, and I'm on a different page than you are, then maybe we shouldn't be together.
Exactly.
You know, it would be much more simple instead of having to hurt one another
Yeah.
and having.
And I think that's what all she asked him was him to be honest with her. She has asked him multiple times for that. She has. And he hasn't been. He be scared. I don't know, Rada's going to be mad at me. Just tell her that you got somebody else pregnant, sir. That's all you have to do. Tell the truth. Listen, shorty pregnant. I know we wasn't supposed to. We had a such and such night. Like, and I wasn't trying to. Well, I can't say. You know what? No, we're not gonna say you weren't trying to, because that's you're gonna be like, what the hell you mean you wasn't trying to? But shorty pregnant. Like, we had a drunk night. I thought I put it on. I didn't remember. Then instead of me coming home, I messed up. Sometimes what I have learned is a woman rather have a okay, speaking as women, we rather have our own choices than for you to make the choice for us. And that's all we saying. We would love to have that decision. You cheating and deciding to have a baby and saying, well, she'll forgive me, and me not telling her is a choice that you're making for both of you, instead of letting her make that choice if she wants to stay or not, right? That's just like with anything, making choice decisions without talking to your partner, especially when it's something like that, if they want to stay or go. Some people can't mentally handle their man or their partner having another child. That is, they just can't do that, because a man would completely walk away and the decision, is done. But some women are different. Men don't think like that. And if she did it, Michael would have been left her.
For someone to even go through all this right now, because it's very painful, it's traumatizing, it's a lot of things. And I don't know if I will ever be able to forget it, because it's so damaging. But I'm able to try to move forward from it the best I could.
Wow is more than just a bright smile.
He
It's your
didn't
confidence built one brush at a
to tell her and
What
her
is the
make that
current
decision.
state of your relationship with
Yeah,
Michael?
she shouldn't have at all.
Right now, we're trying to navigate
Exactly.
co-parenting. It's difficult because, I still love him. I've been with him for going on 7 years.
Oh, wow.
I care for him deeply. And for me, I don't know if any other woman out there feels the same, but when you get to know a man or anybody and you know their history, you understand the obstacles they've been through, how they were raised, and their trials, their tribulations, you can't help but see that child in them and want to fix them for whatever reason. We women do that.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm a healer by nature. Like I do that with my friends. I do that with my family. And so when I love hard, and I can't help it. That's just my nature. And that's what I was doing in this relationship. And I still love him. It's hard to say what will happen, because now it gets more complicated with the baby involved, and our past history with trying to have babies, the miscarriage, IVF, and then we gave up on it, and all of a sudden it happened. I felt like it happened for a reason.
Yeah.
But then, that other situation, I don't know what reason that happened for, but it happened. And so, I want to say I want to give up on the relationship today, but at the same time, I'm like, gosh, like we've fought through so much together. So I don't know. I don't know where we'll land, but it's, you know, it's a still in progress working relationship.
Yeah, and listen, Rada, there's no timeline for you to make a decision.
Yeah.
I think you have to obviously focus on raising your bundle of joy that you
Yep.
guys have
That is my
together. Do you know what I
priority.
mean? I think that's
Mhm.
the priority for sure.
Yes.
And I think when it comes to Michael, look, I am a firm believer that when it comes to people's
Exactly.
relationships, do what works best for them.
Exactly. I am not. 21. Yeah. 20 in my 20s. Yeah. You know. But hell no. Two, I ain't got time
The two
for
of
it.
you. It's obvious that this is my opinion. It's obvious that unfortunately, a third party of any circumstance, whether it's once a month, a variety, I just don't think that works for your relationship because it's
Yes,
evident that it doesn't.
it
And I
does.
think Michael has
I
to make a
agree.
decision as a man to say to you on some honest shit like,
Mhm.
I can't be with one woman for the
Mhm.
rest of my life.
Yep.
And I think if that's how he feels, he should say it to you.
So
Right.
she
And then it's
made that
up to
decision.
you
Mm-hmm.
to decide what to do with that.
Yep.
And if that is something you want to continue on, that is your right.
Right.
I don't want you to think about the world judging you, whatever. Everyone's marriage relationships are different. But
Mhm.
I always implore people, let's first rip the band-aid off and have this uncomfortable
I agree.
conversation that's going to hurt the both of us,
Mhm.
but hopefully we can heal from it.
Right.
And you never know what beautiful surprise can come out of it.
Exactly. And I'm down with that. I'm down with having a real conversation, but I don't know what he's afraid of. I really don't. And
Mm-hmm.
he said it publicly, oh,
That he can't.
I'll choose my side, or
He has said this publicly that he will choose a side woman. He will choose that, and I feel like Rada is doing the best thing she can do by co-parenting. And there's nothing really she can do. She wants that. This is that sugar love crap. Yep. She wants something better. He doesn't want that. And like he said, the part that I agree on is she has the right to make that decision. He need to tell her that. But then again, he's showing her that. So she making the right decision to say, you know what? I'm gonna step away from this. Co-parent is what we're gonna do. And if it comes, you need to work on you. You can't be with just one person. I want to be with a person that just want to be with me and understands and do this. You can't do that.
I can't cut off my or whatever he says. I
Mhm.
don't know. I've heard it time to time. And that's what I get criticized for. They're like, well, he's telling you to your face that
Yeah.
he can't stop.
Yeah, which is fair. Which is
Yeah.
fair. Yeah, of
Yes.
course. Yeah.
But at the same time, behind closed doors, he comes and tells me, oh, that's my character. That's what I'm supposed to say. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
that's my shtick. I'm a comedian.
I'm a
That's a
comedian.
part of my act.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. So of course I believe him.
Yeah.
But a caveat to that is, yes, I do know that he's still messing around with other women.
Still today.
The monthly thing that we've agreed to when we, had gotten engaged
Yeah.
to one another.
He's still doing that.
Why?
I don't know if he is now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
She don't need
that's
that.
what the agreement was. But I knew that even though he's out there speaking publicly about, oh, I can't commit to one woman, or I've always cheated on my girlfriends or whatever, But I guess my point is, he's coming to me saying, well, that's who I am. That's how I have to be. I'm a comedian. I'm supposed to be funny. I'm one of those walking clickbaits type thing. So of course I'm going to believe him. But you know, I didn't think it would be to this extent.
Yeah. Of course not. Listen, I want you to know this. You're a beautiful woman.
Oh, thank you.
You are a sweet soul. I feel your energy.
I know that.
And I want you to know that at the end of the day, whatever you decide to do, I want it to be your decision. And I want you to know your own worth.
Yeah.
And I want you to know that if you decide to not continue, know that there is somebody that is existing for you. If that is something you decide not to do.
Mm-hmm.
If the relationship is something you want to continue pursuing,
Mm-hmm.
Know that my advice to you would only be to, when a man shows you who you are, believe him.
Mhm.
And the moment you start to see signs again that history repeating itself, and if that's uncomfortable for you, then that's when you have to ask yourself, are you willing to put up with this? And the only person who knows that answer is you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
no, I appreciate that. And, you know, that's actually something that I'm thinking through right now. I'm just taking it day by day because I feel like, you know, there's just so much going on
Yeah.
and it's so heavy. I don't want my emotions to overtake logic. Like I said, there's a baby involved now, and there's always someone for somebody at whatever period in life you are.
It's true.
There's always somebody out there that's meant for you. But my main priority is Michael Jr. And I don't have the emotional capacity for anybody right now.
Yeah.
I really don't. And so I'm going to take my time. I'm going to heal. And I believe once I'm healed, I can make that right decision.
Okay.
And that's my priority right now, is healing myself.
Honey, she got to, because from the first husband to him, baby, for 7 years. So 2 years out of this whole 7 years, 2 years it was straight. Then the 5 years came and it just been a disaster. She got a lot of healing to do. She has a lot of healing her younger self. I feel like she needs to, at this point, have fun. I just feel like she needs to see what it's like, you know, not to just be some, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be in a relationship with anyone. That's how I see it. And that's just what I see it as. I don't feel like she needs to be with anybody, just have fun for herself.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. And listen, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you for your honesty. I know that's not easy when you have the world looking at you and judging you, making all of these statements, but you are a strong woman and you have been so resilient in your response to something that I just know I couldn't imagine going through publicly. But I also want you to know too that you are speaking for a lot of women who are going through this, and the way you're handling here, just poised and so beautiful and just so honest and with integrity. You are showing women that, look, when this thing sort of happens, you know, there's an alternative to how you cope with it. And that and what you're exemplifying to me is a woman of grace. And you know, Michael, you're not going to get that often. That's my thing. So, brother, chill. But you know, but I want the best for you. Love and Hip Hop Miami is airing. Catch that. It's every Tuesday, right?
Every Tuesday on BET at
Yes.
8 p.m.
Yes,
Central,
8/7 Central. So make sure you guys check her out. And where can they follow you?
Ms. Rada Darling on IG and TikTok.
Yep.
Yes, yes.
But
yes.
I'm on IG more.
IG more. All right. Thank you, Raindrops. I'll see you on the next one.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Lovey.
All right. That is all with that one, y'all. But yeah, she does need to take the time to learn who she is. Not just as a mom, a girlfriend, fiance, or wife, But who Rada is without those titles, who is she really? What makes her upset? What makes her tick? What makes her anything? She has to learn that for herself. I hate that her and Michael are going through that, but baby, girl, I'm gonna tell you now, you ain't wrong, and I don't blame you. It was a great interview. It gave us more of an insight on where she and her and Michael is, what's entailed for them. I don't think they'll be coming together. I think it's just a lot of co-parent, and I think that he will be doing what he wants to do, who he wants to be with. And he should do that freely as a single man instead of trying to be in a relationship. And that's just me. And I feel like she should do what she wants to do and who she is as a single woman instead of in a relationship. But I believe that once she healed, I think that situation between her and Michael will be done for completely. I know what we saw on the show, but I believe that they filmed that last year. But I believe that after she does the healing and she does the work, Michael is null and void. I'm sorry. He's going to have to work. He's going to have to put in that work like Glenn has to with Letitia that we're going to talk about tonight. Okay. I think they come on tonight. I'm going to have to double check because I think we got a mid-season. I don't think they come back till May. But if they don't come back tonight, I'll just make an announcement of May and whatever tea I have with Bell Collective Alabama, and then we'll go to Mississippi, and then we'll go straight to Alabama. But oh, Lisa, that's so sweet. I'm not ready for that. I want to thank you guys for watching. I will be back. What time is it? Damn, I just dropped my damn phone. Hold on. 2:30. Okay, I'll be back at 2:30. We're going to talk about Nika and her psychic eval that she has to do with the CPS. I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. We'll be back with Nika. I'm about to say Mika, not Mika. Nika. Later, y'all.